Hello and welcome to Ivory Blush Roses. I don't usually do videos like this, unboxing type things, but every now and then you get something and you think, I'd like to share that. I've commented while I've been doing the rickrack videos that I wish I had a stand that would hold my embroidery frame and allow me to get my hands on top of and underneath without me having to hold onto the frame. I think it's easier to film. So I've been researching frames. I've seen a lot of varieties that take clamps that go onto the table, and the problem I have with that is that usually I stitch in a different room than this one. Clamps would work great on this table. It's got a square edge. The table that I use as my sewing table has a beveled edge on it, and the clamps don't work on that. So I needed something that would sit on the table but not sit too high because I still would like to be able to see and stitch. I ordered this stand off of Amazon. I've opened the box just enough to look at, but I haven't taken anything out yet. I just wanted to make sure it was what I really ordered. Let me show you what we have. So it's pretty well packaged, and there is a little paper here with it. It's a beach table embroidery frame. I couldn't tell you the brand of it, but it allows you to use a round hoop with it, and the clamp is supposed to also be able to take the square frames like I use. So there's some real simple instructions how to use it. They actually show it holding a phone if you've got instructions on your phone. But I'm hoping it's big enough that it'll actually hold a couple of my bigger projects. This is the base. It's got nice little silicone feet on the bottom of it. Nice groove. And I believe these are the two uprights. Get them out of the package. We'll be doing great. Okay. So those two uprights, pretty sure they go this way. And then we have a number of other parts. And I hope you can see this with Finn sitting right there. So we have 4 knobs, so 2 of them have the longer screw and 2 of them just have the inner item. We have 2 of these clamps, and then we have 2 of these with the bolt coming out of them. I've got a little tool. It's got a Phillips head, and we have 2 Phillips head screws and 2 washers. So let's see what we're supposed to do here. I'm just taking a really quick look at it. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these uprights on. Now the nice thing is these are adjustable along it, and that was one of the things I was really looking forward to. And so the washer goes on these, and I don't know about you, but I like to put those on very first so that I have no problem. I'm just hand tightening these down right now. I don't want to make them too tight because I do want to be able to move them. And making sure that that hole goes along the length of this as well. And when you're lined up nice and straight, it goes pretty easily. Now I had my little tool here. I still want to be able to move it, so I'm not going to go super tight with it just yet. Okay, so there is that. You can see we can move it along. So I can bring them close together or put them far apart. And then we have these clamps. Now let's see what it says about those. The clamp with the bolt goes through that on the top, and then this one comes through and is tightened with this. Now, I want to take a quick look at this one. inspect it when you get it, because on this one it does have a piece here on the end that looks like it's potentially will break off. If I didn't know how to do woodworking and fix that, I would probably request a replacement piece. I know how to fix that, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. The nice thing about this one is it has a spot so that if you have a hoop and you want to put the end where the screw is, you can put that in here and it's hidden, and so you don't have to mess with that. And then it also should accommodate the square frame as well. So that's going to go in here. And this one is fine. There's no issues with this one. And I'll leave a link to this in the description box below. And then these little knobs go back here on the end to tighten that on. And so it seems to me that that one should just tighten on and stay tight as we go. Now, you've got the ability, if you want, you can rotate it either way. So if you wanted to have it facing towards you, you could definitely do that. And I may do that when I'm doing that, but for today's purposes, we're going to leave it straight upright. So let's see. I loosen that up. So I've got a couple of frames here, and I think these are all the standard frame. So this is the type I was using for the rickrack project. These frame pieces are by Edmunds, and so you buy a pair, or you can buy a whole set of assorted sizes. I usually buy them based on what I need. I should be able to put this in here and move this down. That works beautifully. You can tip it and turn it towards you. Remember, left to loose, right to tight. This is a little bigger frame that's already got a piece on it. This is my Scottish block that I hope to be finishing in the near future. We may just do that and get it out of the way. My pieces all have thumbtacks and stuff. I can fit it right over those thumbtacks, not an issue, and I think it's going to hold it nice and steady. But I can tip that, and it probably helps if you actually put the frame straight to begin with. Yeah, I think my frame's a little wonky here, so that's the difference. But it tips to work with you. I'm pretty happy with that. I wouldn't want to tighten these down too hard. And I think once I got that set, I would want to tighten up that movable one so that it wasn't in my way. But I'll be able to stitch with a hand underneath and a hand on top. Sitting the way I am right now, it sits a little bit high for me. But for filming, I think it's going to be wonderful. And I think that if I sit on my stool that puts me up a little bit higher, it'll be perfect. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next thing I want to see is, does this fit a really big project? So let's loosen this up. Now I'm going to want to keep this tool handy, so I might actually just figure out a way to attach it so I don't lose it. Oh my gosh. It's going to be close, folks. Now I know it won't fit this way. When I ordered it, I made sure I ordered the big one so that I knew I would have lots of space for the narrow dimension on this. A tape measure right over here. And so it is probably a 15-inch. So I think 15 is the maximum reach that it will go. Now I do find that my thumbtacks make it a little harder to fit in So I've got to loosen those up enough to fit that in. It might be that I just have to remove a thumbtack occasionally to get it to fit. And of course then tightening this that's a big project. This is my Midsummer Fairy project. You can see I've got the whole thing on a frame so I can tip it. So I'll be able to bring the camera in and face it directly towards that, but get my hands underneath it to be able to stitch and see what I'm doing. And I can tip it up more if I need to see better, and I can turn it around. It'll be a little tighter when I'm up here toward the middle, just because I'm stitching further away from me, but then I can turn the whole thing around. I'm really excited to use this. I think it's actually going to make a big difference in the quality of my stitching videos, just because I'll be able to hold my stitching more still. I won't be having to juggle holding it and stitching both from top and bottom. So I'm really excited about that. Like I said, I don't usually do this type of video, but I wanted to show you. I know I mentioned it in a previous video that I needed something to hold my work out of my way. I don't like scroll frames. I really like these frames. These are overwhelmingly my favorite frames. And it should take both sides, the mini and the regular bars for this. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm hoping it makes it easier for you to watch the videos. I've just tried placing it at the edge of the table, and I can put my hands right under it and have really easy access, and I don't feel like I'm too high for it. So when it's tilted, that makes it even easier. That's going to work great. I feel like this is going to be a really helpful purchase. It feels pretty stable. It feels like if I were to tighten this down, it's going to hold that frame nice and steady. I hope that this was helpful for some of you that might be looking for an embroidery frame. I'll leave the link in the description box below. I want to say thank you for watching the ads and making purchases through the affiliate links. All of those things help support my channel. Every time you watch an ad, I get a tiny percentage of the advertising revenue. Usually it's cents on the dollar, and that helps support me in allowing me to continue making these videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, happy stitching, and I'll see you in the next video.